vitamin B, vitamin C, flavonoids, phenols, antioxidants, and tannins. And those are good for the treatment of the gall and kidney stones. It lowers your blood pressure. It boosts anti-inflammatory. It has anti-inflammatory properties. It makes your skin healthy, and that is what I did not know. So therefore, I used it. It's good for your hair as well. The mango leaves. It's a natural diabetes fighter. It has anti-cancer properties as well. It treats stomach ulcers. And this is just the leaves, not the mango itself. So when you take it in the mango and in the leaves, you get a double portion of what the mango leaves can give us. It cures restlessness and anxiety. So people with depression and suffer with anxiety can use it as well. It also has properties for losing weight. It helps with obesity as well. Something I did not know about the mango leaf as well, that it increases our libido. Did not know that as well. So we can use the mango leaves. We can boil it, we can infuse it in our oils to use it in the treatment of the skin, for the skin. We can use it and drink it from the inside as well. They said to take about 10 to 12 mango leaves in about 150 milliliters of water and infuse it. You can grind it and make it into tea bags as well. I am planning to use the mango leaves. I'm planning to make a capsule out of it, the mango leaves and the guava leaves. I am not speaking, guava is not in my backyard, so I did not use that, but mango leaves and guava leaves are a potent diabetes fighter, very potent. Who's ringing my doorbell? Somebody, excuse me a minute. Morning, morning. I'm Miss Caroline. Caroline, morning. Jessica is outside. Can you help her for me, please? Thanks. Sorry about that. Yes. So we can fight obesity. It helps with libido. I did not know. So I'm trying to make that that capsule with, I am thinking of a few things to put in into that capsule to use as a natural diabetes fighter. So people can now leave the metformin and all the other chemicals that we are using to fight diabetes. I am looking at using a number of herbs. I'm hoping that I can use, I'm asking the spirit to lead me into the portions, the proportions to use, the ratios to use. I am thinking of using the bitter melon, which is the wild Karaili, the mango, the guava, the garlic for chromium, and also to help with blood pressure, because they said all of those things are affected, and the guacano to put into that capsule. So it will deal with a number of symptoms at the same time. So I'm looking for the proportions in which to use as we speak. So the mango and the guava will be those that I will put into that tablet. So just to review, the drinking of the mango leaf, just the drinking of the mango leaf to make tea. Now, I'm not a tea person, so it's very difficult for me to drink tea. When I have tea once a day, that's it. I don't want anything like that anymore. So I don't drink a lot of tea. A lot of people love teas. I don't particularly like tea. So it's a difficulty for me to get these things down, but I try ever so often to drink something. But the mango leaf tea, it's rich in anti-inflammatory properties. It has a lot of plant compounds in it. It is good for our skin, for our hair. It helps in weight loss. It treats stomach ulcers. It has anti-cancer properties, and it also fights diabetes. So we can use the mango leaf very freely. It has no chemicals that will harm the system. So you cannot overdose on mango leaves, but you know, Sister Dawn always talk about making it very strong. And when I read 10 to 12 leaves, I said, oh my goodness, I was not taking enough. When I boil it, I did not take so many of them, but to get the properties from the leaf, we have to use quite a few. So it's about 10 to 12 leaves that we need to boil in 150 mils of water so that we can get all the properties. And you know, we're not going to boil the leaf. We're going to boil the water for a few minutes so that it can be really hot, and then put the leaves in it, turn the stove off, cover the pot, and let it draw for maybe another 10 minutes or so. And then we will drink the tea from it. So that is what's in my backyard. And the other tree that is in my backyard is the avocado. And the avocado leaf, you can Google these things because it's all now on Google. You know, Google is our mother now. We can find everything we want in Google. So the leaves are there in Google. You can look at them to see what they look like. But the avocado is the other thing that is in my backyard. Beside the fruit that we have, that is very beneficial. We know that we get a lot of oil from the avocado. It's one of the plants on the food chain that we use a little of because it contains a lot of fat oils, but they have a lot of properties that we can get. You know, for COVID, one of the names, I don't know if many of you were hearing that, but in COVID, we were talking about quercetin. We were talking about two things, quercetin and ivermectin, well, three really, because we had the other one that you can make at home as well. Sister Ingrid, remind me of that other one. Long name that we were using for COVID, and we were not allowed to use for COVID. I'm trying to remember that other one.
Hydroxychloroquine.
Yes, hydroxychloroquine. Thank you very much for that. These are the names that were bandied about all the time. Ivermectin, which is, you know, which is the wormwood. It comes from the wormwood plant, actually. And that's why it's so cheap, because they cannot patent that to make any big money off of it, because it is the wormwood plant that is ivermectin, and quercetin, and hydroxychloroquine. Those three things. And we can make hydroxychloroquine out of grapefruit. There is the recipe on the internet. If you want to make it, you can make it. It is all natural. So the avocado leaf contains quercetin, polyphenols, the major components of the avocado leaf. And as I said before, it cures kidney stones. I don't know if we could call that stone crusher too, but it also helps with kidney stones. And to use this now, we have to get about 5 to 8 avocado leaves, the green leaves, and that is what we boil. And we have to draw it and not boil it and drink it. And that will give us, again, it is good for our skin. You know, God is so good that he doubles up on the properties. So if you take one and you take another one, it helps in one area. So it laps over, the leaves lap over, because there I was talking about stinging nettle, how it's good for your hair and stuff. But we have also the avocado that is good, and the mango that is good. And now the avocado is also good for your skin. For it smooths the skin as well. It keeps the skin smooth and clean, the avocado leaf. So things overlap. So you can always get a rich supply of everything that you need. It helps because it has the properties to help with the skin. It also keeps you good from getting dry skin and having all that cracks and stuff on your heels and all of that. It helps with the dry skin as well. It helps with back pain. So people who has lumbago can use the avocado leaves to help fight back pain. It relieves swelling. Because of the quercetin that is in it, it helps with our swelling. So anything that gives that swells, you know, your feet swell, and it helps with swelling as well. It helps to reduce hypertension. For babies, it eliminates thrush. We can put it on canker sores, and it will help to relieve that as well too. It turns your gray hair black, or it keeps your black hair black. So you can use it also as a rinse in your hair. You can use the water and put it in your hair, leave it like a moisturizer. I guess you can mix it with aloe and put it and keep it in your hair for maybe 15, 20 minutes and wash it out after that. So it keeps your hair healthy as well and keeps your hair black. What I did not know about the avocado is that it fights cavities as well. So not only clove, which is another thing that is good for the mouth, but avocado leaves also helps with cavities. And for my interests, it also helps with diabetes. So this is why I want to use the mango, and maybe I will put some avocado in there too, with the guava and the mango leaf. Add a few avocado leaves as well to make that capsule that I'm planning to make. I'm seeing here, the leaves of the avocado tree are also edible and are often used in traditional Mexican cuisine. Avocado leaves have a bitter taste, but they can be used to add flavor to soup or other dishes. Like the fruit, avocado leaves are a good source of vitamins and minerals. They also contain unsaturated fat. So, you know, we always talk about avocado and the fat and we cannot eat a lot of it, but the fat is unsaturated as well too. It says that it helps to improve the fertility in women as well. And for people who make soap will know the benefit of oleic acid. Avocado leaves also contain oleic acid. Oleic acid helps to lower cholesterol levels and reduce the risk of heart disease. About side effects, there are no side effects to adding avocado leaves to your diet. You can use the young leaves. I guess when they say use avocado leaves in your soups and stuff like that, it probably would be the young leaves that you can eat. So you can put avocado leaves in your soup. So you have a new addition to avocado today, not just the avocado, but the avocado leaves. So you can use the leaves, grind it in a powder, and you can use it as I want to use it in the capsule, or you can use the young leaves, cook it in your soup, make tea from it, use it to make your astringents, make it for your skin, for your hair. So there are many things that you can use these leaves for. So not only the fruit is good, but the leaves are good as well. So that is what's in my backyard. I have also camu camu, which is the governor plum. That is the purple cherry that you roll. It has seeds, it's purple, and it has a lot of seeds, small seeds in it, and you just burst a hole and you squeeze it through. And for those of you in the Caribbean will probably know the fruit very well. You roll it, it gets soft, and you just burst a hole in it and you squeeze it. It's very sweet, and it's purple in color, round in shape. I have a tree like that in my yard, but it does not bear. It flowers, but it doesn't bear because it is very sensitive to night light. And because my neighbor's light shines directly on it, and my garage light also helps because it's a little distance away, but the light shines in that direction, it does not bear fruit, and I'm so sad. It does not bear fruit.
What is it
So
called?
that's
what is it called? The local name for that plant?
Governor Plum.
No? Governor Plum, okay.
Yeah, Governor Plum, the camu camu.
I know that series.
Well, we know it as series too. We know it. I was just going to say that, Sister Dawn, Governor Plum or series. But if you go on the internet and you Google Governor Plum, that is what comes up. So I think what we call Governor Plum, because we call the Jamaican plum Governor Plum.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Jamaican plum is what we call Governor Plum. But when I went to Jamaica, I realized that the Jamaican plum was that as well. Is the one with the little ball in the bottom that we call Governor Plum. The you know, the regular yellow plum and then the red one. Well, the red one is their Governor Plum, what they call Jamaica plum.
Oh, but we have some Jamaica. Maybe they could explain to us what you get from.
Are you saying that it's similar to camu camu?
It is camu camu.
Camu camu is Governor Plum.
Okay, so I want to understand it because I'm from Jamaica, and when you say Jamaican plum, I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know you have a plum with a very hard seed on the inside.
Well, I know we have ones that you call like a hog plum. Well, that's just a local name.
Similar
It
to
has a
hog
soft
plum.
flesh. We have two plums. You have one with a soft flesh, thick skin, and you have one with a thin skin and the flesh is hard. You have a hard seed in the middle.
Right, the one with the hard seed in the middle.
It's a thick skin or a thin skin?
It's a thick skin. It has, well, the skin and the flesh are all one.
Right, okay.
And then the
I
hard
understand.
seed, the hard kind of almost like a June plum kind of finish on the inside, but hard. Not as prickly
Oh,
as as June plum. Not
as
as
June
prickly
plum.
as plum, but it kind of spiny. The
And it's
seed side
small.
is
Is it
spiny. It's
small?
hard. Yeah, very hard.
Is the fruit small or big
Yes.
like a June plum?
No, smaller.
Okay. Oh, I think I know what you're talking.
Your plum is still quite bigger than ours in size.
It would be good to see a picture, but thanks.
Yeah. But that plum is very wrong and purple in color, the camu camu. It's purple, it ripes purple. It is green when it's green, but it turns purple and it's wrong, and you have to roll it. Roll it until it gets soft. Other than that, it will be what you call it, Sister Dawn? It ties up your mouth.
Very astringent.
Right. So it is if you don't roll it, it will tie your tongue up like Neve's berry. So you have to roll it, and then it gets soft, and then it gets sweet.
True.
So that is the
Okay.
camu camu, or what they call governor plum, but we call it cerise here. But we have another kind that we call cerise, Sister Dawn, and that's the
sour
sour
cherry.
one. Yeah, the sour cherry. We also
next
call
sour
that
cherry.
cerise. Yeah, also call that cerise. So, but
Can-
the name is really
someone-
governor plum.
Can someone share a picture? Because when she said purple, no, I don't know of that one. But thanks.
Let me see if I can find it. Hold on.
know, red. Okay, when you're back, could you address please which leaf you said was for the hair color? Was it the mango or the avocado?
The
I wasn't sure.
avocado.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. By the way, as Sister Dale is looking for that, you notice that when herbs are dried, they are more potent than when they are fresh. And they could last for a longer time when the herbs are dried.
So
When they are dried. And the herbs could be made into teas or we call them infusions, where we use the leaves. And then if we have barks or so, we use a decoction. A decoction is when we put the herb that like barks harder. So that is simmer. You simmer it for half an hour to get the properties. But one of the best is what we can do, if we have a bark, put it soak in water overnight. Because water also extracts. Water is an extractor as well. And we use that same water to simmer the herb for half an hour. And if you have to add leaves to it, after it simmer for half an hour, we take off the stove and we add the leaves in it and cover it down for maybe the next 15-20 minutes, and then you could use it as well. So you get a better drink. And drink it with gratitude. Drink it with gratitude.
Have an attitude of gratitude.
Gratitude.
Yes,
Is
an
it the-
attitude of gratitude when you're drinking it.
Yeah, because some herbs mightn't taste so well, but remember, it only tastes so much that you want. You want the properties of the herb. That is why you need to know the constituents of the herb. Some herbs are bitter. Some herbs are sweet. And when it causes bitter, nature tells you how much you could drink. You can't drink a whole 8-ounce glass of bitter bush. So you drink, we have what we call in Trinidad, we have shot glass, or a little 1 ounce, as you take intermittently, because it's bitter. Or some might take by tablespoon. So that is observation as well. Some things are sweet, it can't take too much of that as well. Some herbs are in between, they have salty sweet. So God has given us these things, so we need to understand these herbs well, so as we use them, and we apply them, we understand when we have to say about someone, even our own self, we know how much we could take because nature tells you that. You know,
Mr.
that's
Hyacinth,
understanding.
Sister
Just
Dale just
posted it.
posted a picture in the chat of the camel.
Okay, thank you. Would you use the green leaves or the young leaves, I should say, or the older leaves for the avocado and the mango?
You get them in the prime when they're nice and not old, you want
Yeah.
the prime.
And
So
not young.
not too young and not too old. The older leaves will get really dry and you'll see them when they're too old. But your mature leaves or not so mature. So as I said, it's not very young. The very young leaves are, they are small and kind of glossy looking.
Yeah, they don't have all the properties as yet.
But there are some plants that the stuff is in the young leaves. So that's why we do also need to know your individual plants.
Yes.
God has done such an amazing job of placing all these plants in the environment, a lot of times in the environment that is necessary. So for example, in places like where you have damp, wet conditions, you have plants that are very beneficial for arthritis and rheumatic pain. Like bogs grow certain plants, certain areas that are where you have a lot of dry conditions, you have plants that are adapted to those situations and that we can use when we have fevers. So observation and also corroboration. People are using them for years and you find out from the old heads how they use it. People
Yeah,
like
they
Sister
would have
Dale has
done
had
it already.
people like Sister
With
Dale
the
and Sister Dawn
experiment.
have had people in their ancestry who were herbalists. Who were, basically call them bush people,
Yes. Bush doctors.
bush doctors. Thank God for the bush doctors.
Thank God,
Amen.
praise God for the bush doctors.
Well, if you don't mind, we have to put on Sister Marcy because she's
Yeah,
doctor.
Sister Marty is finally back on.
And Sister Ingrid will take over from there.
No, I'm support staff today.
Praise the Lord. Thank you.
Sister Marcy, go ahead.
Yes, good morning again for those who are late, who joined late. Okay, so I was introducing the Moringa oleifera. Yes, so it grows into a large tree and it has these very tiny leaves and it has a pod that has black seeds with a sort of a little frill around the seeds. And it's called a pressure tree in some areas, I think in Burma, Myanmar. It's called a tree of life, the tree of immortality, cure all tree. It is a very wonderful plant made by our Creator. I did make this powder from it. Dry the leaves in the hot sun, but when you're drying the leaves, take them in at night because they tend to reabsorb the dew. Dry the leaves and you can just rub it through the sieve and bottle it. So this can be used in your smoothies or your shakes, your soups, or sprinkle on your food. It's very powerful antioxidant. It's used to fight malnutrition in some parts of Africa. It's said to have over 46 types of antioxidants. Mazimba, can you please mute? Mazimba? Yes, it cures over 300 conditions. The powdered leaves are used as supplements. It contains protein, vitamin B6, iron, riboflavin, which is B2, vitamin A, magnesium. Yes, Sister Hyacinth, it's moringa. It has 10 times the vitamin A of carrots, twice the vitamin C of oranges, 15 times the potassium of bananas, 17 times the calcium of milk. The seeds are also used for water purification and it contains quercetin. It lowers the blood sugar, it reduces inflammation, lowers cholesterol, and may protect against arsenic toxicity. So the dosage, you could use 2 teaspoons daily. As a tea, you would use a small part of the branch. And as I said, you add to soups and juices. Capsules are available in health food stores. So this is what I have for moringa.
But Sister Marcy,
Yes,
you
sister.
said it is very good for dealing with arsenic, which means that it probably will be a very good to pair along with rice, because rice is naturally has an affinity for arsenic in the soil, and because a
Yes.
lot of the world's rice has been grown in areas where there were heavy pesticide use before. Rice is
Yes.
very, very heavy. So and that's what we call we have this thing in Trinidad we call bhaji rice. We like to put together rice with spinach or stuff. So it means that we need to be
Yes.
cooking rice with moringa.
Yes.
Very good.
Definitely. Yes.
I'm going to be using that. Thank you.
Yes, amen, amen for that. That is such a good, and you see why we have to come together?
Especially when you cook dal and things, it does be good in the dal.
Mhm.
For dal.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely,
it was
yes.
recommended to me by a doctor, and with my disc issues, and I just give God thanks. So I'm gonna use it more. I'm not as consistent as I should be, and I have a patient here, so I'm gonna use it on her. But I do use it along with the mango leaf for my husband's diabetes, and he has not been on the medication for many years now. His sight is very good, and we just give God thanks for His blessing of these herbs. Sister Gray, I'm gonna definitely use that avocado, and I'll show you the results. Thank
Amen.
you. God bless you all.
Amen.
Thanks.
Amen. Only yesterday, Sister Marcy, Sister Dawn and I were passing a place and we saw the moringa tree and we picked a branch, a fruit off of the tree.
Pods.
And we were eating, yes, we were eating it. I ate so many yesterday. I'm telling Sister.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you eat? You ate the pods from the seeds from the
The
pods?
seeds, yes.
Yeah, those seeds are
Yes.
very, very powerful
Very good.
antihypertensive, which means that for many people, if you eat them, many folks have eaten them and then drop down because their blood pressure
Yes, you have to be
went so
careful.
low. Yeah, I was telling Sister Dawn that yesterday, that they say you shouldn't eat more than 1 or 2 pods at
The
the
seeds, not the pod. Yes,
yes, seeds at the same time. I was telling her that. I said it's so potent.
yes.
And when Sister Marcy started to read the benefits of it, you realize how potent it is. I was telling her that they said don't use more than 1 or 2 because it affects your liver. There's so much nutrients going into the liver that the liver now has to assimilate, that it makes a problem for the liver.
Interesting.
So, but yesterday I had quite a few. I really did.
But does that mean that your blood pressure was high, so it put you back in balance?
I don't know. I have no idea. It didn't tell me it was.
Yeah,
But
you have to be careful.
I just ate it because it was, I didn't eat them for a long time. Every time I pick them, they're either too dry and they're never good. But I got that one yesterday and it was so good. And then I was just drinking water after, because you know that the water tastes very, very sweet after you drink. Have you ever taken the seed and drink water after?
Yeah, the water does sweet, yeah.
The water gets sweet. Yes, it's sweet. The water gets very sweet. It encourages you now to drink water.
I heard that it also, the moringa seeds also help to filter the water as well.
Yes,
Yes,
purification. Yes.
purifies the water as well.
Which is the reason why the water tastes sweet, because it's actually filtering it in your blood. That's interesting.
Yes, yes. Wow.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it tastes really sweet, very sweet.
Yeah.
I feel to go all the way back up there just to get a few more of those spots.
Temperance and all things. Right?
Okay. Well, we were supposed to talk about the analgesic, which is pain.
You mean about the moringa?
No.
Oh,
for the
okay,
pain.
because Sister Jackie is just about ready to come on.
Okay, well.
Yeah, you go ahead, Sister Dawn.
The analgesic is for pain, right? It diminishes pain, right? So we have natural painkillers in the herbal family.
Mhm.
Many painkillers. We talk about the we have those that are anti catarrhal,
Catarrhal.
that those, that those who promote flow of mucus and phlegm. Right? So God has put the herbs in different, He gives different properties to the herbs that we could use. And that's why we need to understand the herbs as well.
In different families.
When it comes on, we want to have some pain, because a lot of people have issues with pain. And there's a family of herbs called the Pepperoraceae family. They are called pipers. Piper herbs. Like we have like Piper nigrum, that is black pepper, which is a herb for pain as well. We have kava, it's for pain, and so on.
Yeah.
These are pipers.
One of the other plants in the Piper family is a plant that we spoke about last week called cowfoot.
Yes.
Yeah. And also another member of the Piper family, of course, is what we call shining bush or
Shining bush.
peperomia.
So I know sister, I actually have more things to talk about, but sister, I'm going to show them the pictures of the piper and what they have there,
Yes.
so they
Uh-huh.
see.
So shining bush is also good for pain?
Yes, it is. It is part of as a
Okay.
matter of fact, shining bush is one of the plants that has been most studied by scientists for the properties that it possesses.
Okay.
But that family, the Piperaceae, it's probably one of the largest plant families in the world. So there are many variants in that family, but this particular plant is one that has been used for that purpose. For my goodness, when you talk about lots of benefits, I am just
I know
thinking.
it's rich in zinc, very, very rich in zinc.
Well, that's also zinc is also used with guava. Guava leaves are very, very rich in zinc, to the place where guava leaves are used to make your zinc supplements. So a lot of the times if you're going online to buy zinc that is from natural sources, it comes from the guava leaf.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can use your guava leaves tea as an infusion, and that will be very rich not only in zinc, but remember zinc also never God's plants and God's stuff always comes in excellent balance because He made it. So you'd have when there is zinc, there'll also be selenium. When there's zinc and selenium, you'll also have other because they work very well with the absorption for iron. So it's a very, very powerful plant.
Mm-hmm. I know shining bush because we used to get shining bush tea. Every morning we would get shining bush tea at home as children. We grew up on shining bush actually. We knew what shining bush. We didn't know the properties, of course, but it's only now I'm realizing. And I thought it was just rich in zinc. I didn't know it had so many. It was a painkiller as well.
And guava leaf also is extremely powerful for gum disease. So people who are having issues with gingivitis and that kind of stuff, guava leaf, because it's astringent.
Yeah.
But it also has those healing properties because of the mineral that it naturally contains, and it's also very rich in vitamin C, but which is destroyed when you boil it, when you add heat. But the guavas have the vitamin C even more than oranges. Very, very rich.
And we didn't know, as you said, sister, they were getting this tea to drink every morning, but our parents, God gave them the knowledge to give the children those things from early.
Yes. Now, in the case of my mother, when they were growing up, things were very hard, and there were times when there was no food for the family. My grandmother had 10 children, and she would get the shining bush and make tea, and just go to the grocer and get some sugar, and they would get shining bush tea, and that would keep them for just a couple of cups of shining bush tea, and then send them to school. And you would think, how would they survive on just a cup of tea? That's all that they had. But the shining bush, there are so many health benefits, so many properties that are present, nutritive properties in terms of vitamins, minerals, and stuff. And so their bodies were getting what they needed. It is just amazing.
I have a friend who told me that his mother cut down a whole hill of bush feeding them. He said the whole hill disappeared when she was done.
Oh dear.
That one of those succulent plants there. It's very, it have a lot of water in it as well. It's very
Yes.
succulent.
It can
And
be
the
it can be used
shining
as
bush,
salad.
yeah, you could eat it in salad. And the reason why this one, the peppery family has a pepper taste. Tastes like
Yes.
pepper.
Yes.
It's hot. It's
So
peppery.
we love the herb, the plant
Oh,
called
the shining bush. I've never heard of it. What does it
shi-
look like?
it's
Yeah,
it's called peperomia. And let's
it was
take a
give her a picture. She wanna see. I think it's in Jamaica as well.
Yes, it is.
Also the
Is
It's
it pepper
actually it grows.
elder?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Pepper elder. That is correct. That's what it is.
right. And it's very good for the eyes and for glaucoma. I found the research on it.
Yes,
It's very
it
good.
is. Yes, it
So
is.
you
That's correct.
could go ahead and do your presentation, and Sister Jill will come on with her stuff.
Well, Sister Jill is ready now.
Because they want to see the shining bush.
Okay, well,
Wait,
let's Sister Jill go on because I didn't put the shining bush plant on as yet. So
Okay, all right.
I have one or two of the shining bush. I could go and just pull one or two plants and bring it to show you.
that would be marvelous. Please do that.
Very good.
All right,
Thank you.
coming now.
Okay, so we're talking about the pain. Getting back to what the Spirit of Prophecy says, she says, if we neglect to do that which is within the reach of nearly every family and ask the Lord to relieve pain when we are too indolent to make use of these remedies within our power, it is simply presumption. The Lord expects us to work in order that we may obtain food. He does not propose that we shall gather the harvest unless we break the sod, till the soil, and cultivate the produce. Then God sends the rain and the sunshine and the clouds to cause vegetation to flourish. That's actually the beginning of the statement that Sister Dawn read earlier, where from Sex Selected Messages. It's also found in letter 35, written in 1890, where she says that God works and man cooperates with God. Then we have seed time and harvest. And God has caused to grow out of the ground herbs for the use of man. If we rightly understand the nature of these roots and herbs and make a right use of them, there would not be a necessity of running for the doctor so frequently, and people would be in much better health than they are today. So that's so God has indeed given us some very powerful plants. So the shining bush plant, so Sister Jill will actually come and give us a sample of what it is. Last week we talked about another member of the Piper family, but what is called cowfoot, and I'm bringing it back because it is this cowfoot plant, Piper umbellatum, is probably one of the #1 herbs in the world to combat pain. And it is so powerful that it can be, its effect is equivalent or even exceeds that of morphine in terms of being able to stop the pain, particularly in joints and bones and muscles. And we have that plant growing wild.
Which plant is that, Sister Ingrid?
The plant is called cowfoot.
Oh, okay.
Yes, or cowfoot leaf, or cowfoot leaf herb. And let me move it, we go away. Have all these plants coming up here.
I don't know if you all could see.
Yes, we can. That's it.
This is the shining bush.
Now, you notice what is thing about the shining bush, those growths?
Yeah, so we have this, and these, what happened because the weather so dry, as I picked the little seeds that it had to the tip here, it came off.
Yeah, which means you'll have more shining bush later, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but this is the shining bush.
Otherwise known as peperomia peltatum.
And it's
Okay.
good for what now?
You show it again? Because the camera went off very quickly.
Put it.
For pain.
Not only for pain. It
Oh,
has multiple uses.
right.
Sister Dawn, you had a list. You were going through it. You want to tell them again? Thanks.
What's that? The
Shining bush.
shining bush?
Yes.
Yeah, the
Peperomia pellucea.
shining bush is the peppery family. It's a piper.
Yes.
It's peppery. I found a research that it says very good for glaucoma, cataracts. It's anti-inflammatory. There's a lot of research in the Philippines. They did a lot in the Philippines.
Yes, indeed.
A lot of use in the Philippines.
They use it for cancer as well.
That's spinach, eat it raw, can make tea with it. So we have a lot of properties of our herbs that you could use. It's a very succulent plant, not a liquid.
Yes,
Very succulent,
because
yes.
it's made up mainly of water.
Yes.
When you look at this plant outside, is it just looking just like what you're holding up?
Yes.
Or are
Yes.
those the flowers? Not flowers, but does
That is a plant.
the whole thing looks just like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
What
Even
they could
towards
use
the bottom, where the
One,
dirt, even towards the bottom, it looks.
This is just like one or two. This is like just one of the plants here.
So this is the entire plant that you've pulled out.
Oh, she
Yes.
pulled it out.
Root
Root,
and
I
all.
see it. That's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
It doesn't grow. It's not a tree. It's more of like a weed, people would say, because it will grow into plant pots, sidewalks, anywhere it will get. It doesn't need a lot of soil to grow either.
So you will see it growing in Trinidad. Sometimes it will literally be growing out of the crevices of the concrete. You see the road splits and you would see it popping up.
Yeah.
Like wallflowers. Yes, Sister Jill, you were going to speak to us about Malomere.
Yeah. So this morning, two herbs is one is Malomere. This is what it looks like. In some countries they call it tawa tawa. The scientific name is euphorbia.
Euphorbia, huh?
Yeah. Hyrata. In Trinidad, however, Malomere is used to treat asthma because it's known as the asthma plant. Right? It's used to help lower blood pressure. It has helped build the immune system. It helps to treat skin issues. Like if people have warts, they would pick and the little milk. See in the milk? Because I just pluck it. You would see like on this
Yes.
The milk, yes.
the milk, they would use the milk and they will apply it to the warts and it will burn the warts. So it has helped with like warts. Some people may have like growing moles.
Growing moles,
To
yeah.
get rid of, they would
Tags.
use it for that as well. They would also bathe with the bush if people have eczemas. They would bathe with the bush. It helps. You could incorporate it into other bush that you would use or herbs that you would use, like the sene for yes, also skin tags, yeah. So the sene, you could use it along with that, and it will help with eczemas and like heat rash. So it calms the skin. It is also used to treat diarrhea and bronchitis. People who have bronchitis, they use it because of the properties that it have in it that does help with the asthma. So long ago, if you just cough, you have that in the yard. Sometimes your parents would send you to pluck one or two and boil because they would let you put the pot to boil. Let's say if you just want a cup, 2 cups of water, wait until it starts to boil, put it in, let it simmer for 10 minutes. Then you take it off. When it cool enough, they will make you drink it too hot. You strain and you drink, it will help you with the cough. Malomere, they also use it in treating dengue as well.
This is what the plant looks like. A close-up, if you can see my screen.
Yes, that's it. it's also anti-inflammatory. It has those properties. People who has arthritis, they use it to alleviate painful joints. And it helps to address digestive issues. It helps with diarrhea because of the quercetin that they found in it. It helps to alleviate diarrhea when you drink malume. That's what I know on the malume. The pawpaw is the next one that I'm going to talk about. So the pawpaw leaves, actually. So these are the...
Before you go to the pawpaw, Mrs., is
Yes.
there a male and a female malume? Because I thought that the fine little purplish looking one was the female, and this was the male. That is how I learned it from my grandmother. That
I know that
you know the little fine one?
Yes, but I know that one as Congolala. It has similar properties. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I want to share something as well. No, I know that one of the female malume because the Congolala is they are tall tree. I know that different, you see, because I know they say that's the female, and they call the female lies flat, and the male more upright. Yeah, that's what I know.
That's what I know to myself. So I just wanted to clear that up.
Okay, but that's so good because I know that as Congolala and this one as Malume. But that's good to know. I'll do some digging into that.
Yes.
Which is the reason why it is so important to be able to get the botanic name of plants, because then we know when we're talking about the same plant. And thank God, the names are so different. You know, even talking about fruits in Jamaica, the fruit that we call what's the name of that fruit that is my mind just went blank. We bite it and you have the seed in this and it's a sweet fruit and we bite it and you have the orange seed.
Mami siput?
No, it's a round green. And it's sold in bunches when you go when they Janet. Yes. Yeah. And but in Jamaica they call them, but in Barbados they call that ackee.
Oh, they call that ackee in Barbados.
In Barbados, so you call it guinep in Jamaica.
Yeah,
we call
and
it Janet in Trinidad.
We call it guinep in Tobago too.
Okay, and we call it Janet in Trinidad, but in Barbados it's called ackee. But we know that ackee is a totally different plant because that's one of the major plants in Jamaica. So the names of the plants, it's so important. When we have a botanic name, then we can know what we're talking about. So thank you so much. That is really quite powerful.
Yeah.
Sister Jackie, sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's okay. So the other one that I'll talk about this morning, because this is what I have, the pawpaw leaf. And we know people around the world know about pawpaw leaf, the benefits of pawpaw leaf, because they are famous for their health benefits and even the fruits, the seeds. There's using seeds in the pawpaw or papaya for parasites, right? But it has so many benefits on pawpaw, on the entire pawpaw plant, meaning leaves, fruit, seeds, but are only going to be
and root.
And the root, yes. The root is very powerful. The leaves, because the leaves have incredible medicinal properties that manages several conditions. We have dengue, menstrual pain, inflammation, pawpaw leaves contain the enzymes called papain, which is responsible to improve the overall health of a person. Because the pawpaw leaves too, they are also packed with several phytochemicals and vitamins, minerals that act as a wonder for the human body.
Particularly for
The juice, we use the juice to treat multiple ailments. We have the juice in the pawpaw leaves. We use it to treat dengue, to increase the platelet, the juice of it. It has increased the platelet count in people infected with dengue, and it also reduces fever. The pawpaw leaves, it is ease menstrual disorders, and it helps ease bloating that occurs during menstrual cramps. So you could use either the tea, you take the leaf, you could make tea with it, or you could juice it, because it's helpful in treating the PMS symptoms like headaches, pain, indigestion, and nausea that women experience before the periods. Pawpaw leaves, we treat skin problems, and you could use it in your cancer to help treat skin cancer, and we use it for, like ulcers, what we say bed sores. We could use pawpaw leaves that way. You could either crush it, grind it fine, apply it to the bed sore, and it will help dry the bed sore, or you could dry the leaves, add it into your white sugar, and apply it to the bed sore, and it's powerful that way as well. The pawpaw leaves, it maintains liver health, because oxidative stress, this causes a lot of damage to the liver, right? So the pawpaw leaves provide support to the liver due to its antioxidant property and vitamin E. So it does help with liver health that way. Pawpaw leaves, it also treats malaria, and is among that, and we know malaria, like dengue, is a deadly virus or infectious disease that is spread too by mosquitoes because of the parasites that it leaves in the body. So administrating the pawpaw leaves daily to patients, tea, or even if you juice, and you administrate it, is increase the blood cells, and it is reduce the parasite load in the body. And this leads to a faster recovery, because sometimes the medication that people get from the doctors, it doesn't work as fast as the pawpaw leaves, because it is help, the pawpaw leaves is help in removing the parasites from the body. You could incorporate the seeds with it as well when you're doing the treatment for malaria. Pawpaw leaves alleviate mood swings. In some studies, it was revealed that the main cause of mood swings and other mental disorders are due to the deficiency of vitamin C in the body, and pawpaw leaf tea help to reduce and relieve emotional tension like mood swings, stress, and depression. So, pawpaw leaf benefits, wonderful. Then we have pawpaw leaves. It supports the digestive system because the enzymes found in pawpaw leaves, the papain, the protease, aid protein and carbohydrate digest. This helps to alleviate constipation and irritable bowel syndrome, heartburn, bloating, and other digestive issues. The pawpaw leaves also help to maintain your digestive tract as well. Pawpaw leaves boost the energy because of the papain in the pawpaw leaves. They are known to boost energy in individuals. Because of the presence of the several vitamins and minerals that are found in the pawpaw leaves that help to treat chronic fatigue and maintain the energy levels in persons. Pawpaw leaves too also reduces inflammation because we know inflammation is what causes a lot of the diseases. So it helps the inflammation in the body, and it also helps certain allergies and illnesses. It has anti-inflammatory properties that help to treat chronic inflammation by reducing oxidative stress in the body. Pawpaw leaves too improves insulin sensitivity, and the bioactive agent in pawpaw leaves have the potential to improve the insulin sensitivity as well as secondary complication in diabetes, such as like fatty liver and kidney damage, because it helps with the oxidative stress, which leads to a lot of the problems. Pawpaw leaves are good for the heart because of the polyphenols. In the plant, it reduces cardiovascular disease because of the polyphenols, because it helps again to reduce the oxidative stress that is induced on the heart. Pawpaw leaves, as I was saying earlier, it treats like heartburns, and pawpaw leaves, it is stimulate hair growth because of the antioxidant it have, because it have beta carotene and it have the papain and it have vitamin A and vitamin C, and these conditions help with hair. It when you can make the, you juice it, or you make a tea and you could rinse your hair with it, leave it for a little while, and it will help with the dry scalp, like people who have dandruff issues, and it has helped to thicken the hair because of all the different properties that it has. Pawpaw leaves is believed to have anti-cancer properties, and that inhibits prostate. So it helps to kill the cancer cells in the prostate. Because of the amount of antioxidants it have, and because it reduces inflammation. Pawpaw leaves detoxifies the body. The green leaf does be best for liver, but you could use the dry ones as well. The green leaves, it will be better for the liver because of the phytochemicals and the flavonoids is more to be present in the green leaves as opposed to when it's dry. Pawpaw leaves act as a detoxification agent and protect the liver and kidneys from all its disorders like, inflammation. Pawpaw leaves manage high blood pressure. So when you're using purple leaves, you just have to be careful because it carries down the pressure in quick time. So before you use the purple leaf, make sure you do your vitals. If the pressure is high, well, you go ahead, it will help you that way. If your pressure is low, you know you would have to monitor. If you just have like normal pressure because it will drop the blood pressure. Purple leaves relieves constipation as well. People just use it as a laxative. You could take about 2 leaves, juice it, drink it, and it works as a laxative. It would not give you or have you uncomfortable, but it will soften the stool and you'll have your bowel movement. You might go a few times, but you wouldn't have diarrhea. Most people do have diarrhea. Purple leaves prevent cataract. This is something that I didn't know. I learned this while I was doing my little research. Because they say the leaves are rich in antioxidants with the vitamin B and A, the phenolic compound, the alkaloids, magnesium, potassium, and the beta carotene. These compounds help to prevent cataract and other age-related ocular diseases. Purple leaves improve your appetite. If somebody should lose their appetite, purple leaves are helpful because it improves insulin sensitivity in diabetes and as it control the glucose in their body. And this helps to improve their appetite. Purple leaf, well, as I said, it was good in healing wounds. And in one study, they say that they use they use peroxide, and the peroxide help with the healing like within 7 days. But the pawpaw leaf and the juice of the pawpaw leaf and stuff help healing the wound in 4 days. But I have seen it work with bed sores, the ulcers, and I know it works really fast. Purple leaf prevents lung damage like emphysema, which is a condition that is characterized by damage of the air sac of the lungs and shortness of breath. Because of the vitamin D in the purple leaf, it plays an important role in treating the emphysema and lung inflammation, as well as other chronic pulmonary diseases. And it improves lung functions. And purple leaf, it also slows down aging, because the main cause of aging is the free radicals and the oxidative stress and so on. What it does, it helps us scavenge the free radicals and protect the skin from damage. So this helps to maintain healthy skin, and it will slow down the aging process. And that is all I have this morning on purple leaves.
Amen, my sis. Amen. Didn't realize that purple leaf had so many properties.
Yes.
It's bitter like gall, but it works.
Yes, it does.
It works.
I have a
Yes.
question. I noticed the word that you're calling the plant, I'm going to say papaw.
Papaya.
Right? That's
American.
exactly what I was about to ask you.
Yes,
That's exactly
papaya.
what I was about to ask you. I was like, wait a minute. I've heard people say pawpaw, or I'm saying pawpaw because when I look at it, it reads pawpaw in just straight phonetic spelling. But I've heard that word said when people say papaya. So I get confused what we're talking about when that word, how you pronounce that leaf you just had up, when you pronounce it the way you do, I don't know I don't know what's being said. So I just say, oh well, I gotta move on.
No, what happened? Well, I'm from Trinidad and we say popo, but other parts of the world they say papaya, which I am sorry. I started off with papaya, but because of habit, I continue saying popo.
Interesting, in the US, there is a plant called the pawpaw, PAWP, that it's actually a member of the family where we call a sugar apple. It's a custard apple. And
Okay.
it's PAW, pawpaw. And it kind of looks like a white custard apple. Almost, it looks, well, yeah.
And it throws me off, Sister Ingrid, because you just
That's what we
spelled
talked
that.
about.
You just spelled that for that plant she had up.
Yeah. Yeah, P8,
I'm
because
like,
we pronounce
Lord
it
have mercy.
the same way that in Jamaica we have a name for a plant in Trinidad and Jamaica, and in another country so the names are all quite interesting. But when we get the botanical names, then we know what plant we're talking about, and
Yes.
one of the few benefits of those generic names. And thank you so much for bringing that out, because it's not good for us to have confusion at all.
Yeah, because and that's exactly like when I was talking about Malome. In other parts of the Caribbean and probably the wider world, they know it as tawa tawa.
Now, Sister Jackie, I have a question for you, because I know that you use this plant, the papaya leaf, or what we call the pawpaw leaf, in a very special way that is very dear to you, meaning the treatment of your daughter. Could you just share with us what you have used it for, and the kind of success or the benefits that you have proven?
Yes. I have a daughter. She is now 33. At the age of 14, she was diagnosed with lupus. And the doctor had said she just had 2 years to live. So when he said that, I mean, it's not like I was biased. I just told him, I said, you're not good. So I started using herbs. And that's one of the reasons I got involved in herbs, was to assist her. But one of her problems, because she have SLE, her platelets would drop dramatically. One time they called me in the hospital when she had a hospital stay. They say she 3rd-degree critical, she on her way out. And, they were panicking because they thought, well, that time she was going to die. She was just about 17 then. And I went out, got 3 pawpaw leaves, put it in the food processor, wash it, put it in the food processor, and I went up in the people hospital. When I took her to the bathroom, I gave her a shot, and for 3 days, from 20, it went to 150, and they sent her home. And recently, like last year, it went to 18, and they were thinking about platelet transfusion. And I told her, no, we're not going to do that. Again, trust the old pawpaw leaf, juice it, and they were giving her some storage shots to get it up. So the first shot, now that she's an adult, she's also a pharmacist. So, she believes in that form of medication as well. But she still have trust in the herbs. So I did the pawpaw leaves, and she told me allow them to give her the shots and let her see how it will go. So the first shot, it went to 20. The second one, it went to 22. The third one, it went to 24. So I gave them more than 24 hours. And I went up in the hospital with my pawpaw leaves. Normally, when I juice them, I give her like a 10 mils for a dose because pawpaw is powerful. And I gave her 3 shots in one because it was visiting hours. So I got her and I gave her 3 shots in one. And by the time 5:30 when I left the hospital and they came back to take blood, because every time they give her a shot, they would come and they would draw some blood to see how it was progressing. By the time I left the hospital at about 5:30, she called and she said, "Mommy, they're sending me home because it went to 48. And that was in less than 2 hours of getting the pawpaw.
Amen.
So it
Amen.
works.
I have dealt with doctors, particularly who work in the ICU, who are from the Philippines, and they use that papaya leaf. They literally use the actual leaves for all the patients who come in who have suffered from very low platelet disorders like dengue, chikungunya, and all of those diseases. And by the way, COVID as well, because COVID also has had a platelet lowering effect, and so that papaya leaf or pawpaw leaf is extremely potent for rapidly bringing it back up. Folks who have had ITP, idiopathic thrombocytopenia purpura, which is lower, too low platelets. I've had a patient whose platelet count went down to 1. As a consequence of taking the flu shot. She was she's a nurse and had to take the shot as part of her requirement. And whenever she does foolishness, if she doesn't eat properly and take care of herself, those platelets will drop. And this is the only thing that brings her back within a matter of hours back to life. This is a very, very powerful plant. And we should it should always be in your arsenal. That's one of the plants you need to try to get, growing once you're in a tropical country. And so have a papaya plant growing outside, even if it doesn't bear fruit, the leaves are so powerful. And
well, actually, can you say the scientific name of which one you're talking about?
Yes, this is
the one with the green leaves, or the one that's the fruit.
Well, the one that we're talking about, and
is that it, Sister Ingrid? Kyrika?
Yeah, it's Now you ask me, my brain just, I'll tell you the minute, the name just, the botanic name just left me. I'll tell you in a second. Carica papaya, yes.
Yes,
Carica papaya. Carica.
Yeah,
papaya.
Yeah, I was saying in the chat that all of them today seem to be just mainly in your region. We're around where those here on this platform that are Caribbean.
Yeah, these are
tropical.
Yeah, but actually, in you get them in Florida, in the lower states, and they grow in Florida as well.
Well, yeah, that's the same. That's the same as your climate.
Yeah. So many of the plants, because most of the plants that are used in our world today are plants that are tropical plants, like you talk about golden seal and all the, and those are the plants that have been studied the most, simply because that's where the resources to be able to do the studies on them have been. But for many of the rest of the world, Africa, Asia, the Caribbean, India, these plants that we are talking about are the plants that grow naturally. And unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of information available on them. So that's why this review was called, this little study was called, In My Backyard, because in the where I am right now in Maryland, people who have backyards have nothing growing because we have winter.
But, you live in Maryland, Sister Ingrid?
I'm in Maryland right now, yes.
I am too.
Okay, lovely.
Well, the best things, they say, if you're ill, they say use what's around you.
That's correct.
So even though you may have whatever in the Caribbean, and that may be great, there's something around where I live that is best for me.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean these other things doesn't work, because I was going to ask, is there anyone here that actually grows it and are selling the capsules?
You can get the capsules online. It's very, very much, these things are very popular now. Very popular
Yeah.
now. Now, I will say as well, people who have lived in the Caribbean or in the diaspora, who have migrated to the US or the UK or wherever it is, or Europe, the plants and the foods that their ancestors ate and used are still the ones that are most effective, because those are the ones that our DNA and our genome recognizes most. So this is the reason why, for example, foreign fruit like apples, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but it doesn't keep the doctor away as fast or as our local fruits do, because this is what our bodies know. So it will take several generations before we really become fully acclimatized to a foreign flora. And God is good. He does provide for all our need. But that's a lovely point that you have made there, Sister Veronica.
Yeah, but I was saying, if someone on this platform is selling it, I'd rather buy from you because I know what you did more so. I mean, not more so, but yes, when you buy online, you're going to buy organic, you're going to buy, if you're buying seeds, you're going to buy open pollinated heirloom. But I was just thinking, if there's someone on here that's trying to make a living and they're selling that, I'd rather support you than,
thank you,
the bigger companies out there.
That is that is certainly a blessing. Unfortunately, what is also out there, a lot of it is adulterated with other things. And at the end of the day, we are not going to be able to buy it anyway. And that's why it's so important to know what is growing in our backyard. And so Sister Veronica said, if you, there are plants growing in your backyard that you will use for, the benefit. We're talking about pain, for pain relievers. We have things like rosemary and things that grow more easily here than there.
Yeah, I'd have to grow it. I've seen things in my backyard, but I will not use it because of city animals and city rodents. So I won't use not one thing. I see him, I go, dag, there's the plantain. Darn, there's the dandelion.
Yeah.
Oh, well, pull it up.
Yeah. So
even when I'm walking to the park, I've walked to the park. Even I've walked to the park and I'll take my app out and I go, oh my goodness, that's a black walnut tree. It's just sitting right here. But I'm too scared to use it because the litter around it is a mess. And I go, Lord have mercy. I didn't realize how bad the litter was right here. And I was like, nah, this soil is probably a mess. No, I'm not going to touch it. Yeah. But I did take it down because I wanted to see in person what it looked like. And I stamped it open and I said, oh, wow, there's the walnut. Yeah. Wow.
So that means that therefore you need to move to the country. All of those are
oh no
further inducements to
we
move
can
out
stop
there.
Right now and pray for the rest of the day that God will show me. And those of you that have my personal prayer request list know that it's about 10 things on it. And the first one is that God would show me which state to move to the country, because my only daughter, who just got married last year, is in Maryland, and my 90-year-old mother is in New Jersey. And I just really, in conscience, can't move too far from her until the Lord takes her home.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Come sooner.
You gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, well, it's now almost 8 o'clock. Sister Jackie, I don't mean just to stop you. Sister Jackie, are you through with what you were going to be presenting?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Marvelous.
So, Sister Jackie, can you just explain how you did the shot? I just want to know what you did with Ellie.
So, I would use, because depends on the size of the pawpaw leaf, I would use about 3. Wash them because I pick them fresh. Wash them. I would cut it up and put it in a food processor. If like it's dry season, like now, I would add just a tip of water. So I would get the juice, because you wouldn't get a lot of juice coming from it right now. But if it's rainy season, you don't have to add any water at all. It has the water content in the leaves and stuff. I even use, when I say the leaves, I use the entire thing, the little stem as well on the leaf. I cut up everything, put it there.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I juice it and I just strain and I buy those little condiment containers, you know, that will just be like a dose. And I
Yes.
put it there and I freeze. And she used to take out 3 times a day if she's really sick. Now, what happens, because she gets accustomed, almost every month she's have to do a blood test. So 2 days before the blood test to make sure that the blood looks good, she would drink it 2 or 3 days. She would drink one a night. And when she go to do the blood test, her blood is be very, very good.
Okay,
And
thank you.
it is help her with pain and everything. So she's used the pawpaw leaf often enough so she doesn't get sick as when she was younger.
So
Wow.
again, that is because the papaya leaf is very high in enzymes, digestive enzymes. So
Yes.
this helps with digestion, and anything when your digestion is working optimally, you are not
Yes.
going to have pain.
And because it cleans the liver and things, so you don't have fatty liver. So her system, she did a blood test for creatinine, and the doctor was asking her last month, when last your results was that good? She say as a teenager. So very good, it works.
The thing is that why it's difficult is that the papaya leaf is extremely bitter.
Yeah, but you just get accustomed to it.
Yeah,
Because
but that means but I'm saying it's not something that people will run to because
yes,
of the bitterness.
yes,
But you know that most of the most beneficial or healing plants in the world are bitter.
it's a plant.
And
So it
that's
the
a consequence we pay for sin, man. Sin
as well.
has made things quite difficult for us. A bitter pill.
Yeah.
Is also to
Yeah.
share in what Jesus went through on the cross, the bitter herbs.
Yes.
Help us to understand what he went through.
Yes, and the viruses will say, "Oh, I can't stand this bitter place. Let me find another home."
Yes, that's right.
But
Can
Sister
you
Jackie, a question. Could I put it in the juicer and juice it out?
Yes, you
Yes,
can.
you can. You
But
can.
it will impact your juicer.
Yes, because
It's
really?
very yes, it can interfere with the taste of everything that you put in your juicer thereafter.
Even if you wash it out?
Well, it all depends on the material that your juicer is using.
yeah, it depends on the juicer.
Because
But
some
you could do it in you know, like if run a little hot water through it and it will help.
but it is quite potent. What listen, we talk about juicer and all them kind of stories, but what we have known, and when I have having to use stuff in the bush, we're dealing with people who have had snake bites and stuff.
And press the
Literally,
sister
just take that
like
stuff, crumple the leaf, put it in a bowl, mash it up with a stone or with like
A mortar and pestle?
water and pestle.
down presser, or
Put it in a cloth and squeeze.
or
Literally, put it in a cloth and squeeze.
like in Trinidad long ago,
They used to.
they would go by the sea and they would get 2 stones, a big one and a small one for grinding. And you grind it there as well. That's what I know.
And then you just scrape it into a clean cloth,
A cloth and
brown cotton,
Yeah.
and you squeeze it out.
yeah.
So this is what you call emergency medicine when you're in a pinch.
Yeah, when you
So
have
you
nothing else.
don't always need to have a highfalutin juicer and blender and all those kinds of things. But it can be done with the mechanic stuff. But I know that with juicers, like when you run garlic through your juicer, because most juicers have certain parts that are not metal, they use plastic and stuff, it can permanently affect the flavor of what comes out thereafter.
I suppose baking powder could work with that to take care of the,
Hopefully.
yeah, baking powder should be able to soak it in baking powder
Mhm.
and it should be okay.
Okay.
And I could do an extraction as well too with it. You can
Yeah.
extract it as well too and make a
because
dropper.
because these are enzymes. Enzymes are denatured by heat.
Okay.
So therefore, any extraction you want to do, it needs to be cold extraction rather than heat.
Yeah, okay. So
Yes.
then we're talking about alcohol.
The
Or,
tea
or,
would
Do the
work.
extraction.
or with glycerin, not alcohol, because you do not want, in the Spirit of Prophecies Council, that we do not want to use alcohol.
No, but
Because
the
if you
extraction
did,
with glycerin will be heat. You have to put it on heat to extract it.
Yeah, so I mean, we could use we put it in the sun. So that will work, just as long as it's not that, it's just heat to a certain degree. So
Okay.
But if you're doing the extraction, you have to use dry leaves. If they want to put it on heat,
correct.
it's a deal. You
Yeah.
can't use it wet. You can't use it green leaves. It will spoil.
But I saw
that's
on
what we're doing.
YouTube that they were doing green extractions as well too. Fresh
But
leaves.
in the slow cooker, but if you want to use it without the slow cooker, you have to use dry leaves.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because the heat, as Sister Ingrid say, the heat, because it sometimes people would use the leaves and they would make tea, right? And yes, it would work, but it wouldn't work as fast as when you just
Blend it
yeah.
and extract it.
And that was the next thing about the
because
blender.
you will get all the nourishment from
Yeah.
it. All
And that's the thing
nutrients.
about the blender, because when you're blending, you actually are introducing the heat element.
Heat as well.
Yeah. So the original when the doctors are using it, like in the ICU, and you need the full benefit, they don't use, you just pong and squeeze.
Pong and squeeze. So the better thing is the pong and squeeze.
Yeah, I mean,
because
you can actually buy an extractor like in the cancer clinics, like the Gerson Clinic and so on. They have very expensive juices like the Norcross juicer, or you get a press as well, like if you have a Champion. But they would use the press only, not the actual machine, to just press
have a
this.
Champion juicer.
Yes,
The
I have
juicer's
a Champion
Champion
too, but I don't have a press
juicer.
anymore. So you can use the press as well to squeeze it out. So you just put your mortar and pestle, and then squeeze. That is your most effect. That is where you get the maximum amount of benefit when it comes to the enzymes, which is why it causes your platelet levels to increase.
The enzymes.
And yes, I like the question. Can you put a bit of honey with these bitter herbs? Yes.
It make it bitter, more bitter. Do you know that?
No. You put it after.
Bitter.
You do it after.
Yeah, after you swallow it.
After you do the bitter, then you take your honey. But if you put it together with it, because remember, honey also has strong enzymatic properties. So some things don't always go with everything. But
what about lemon or lime juice?
Lemon, yes. And I'm going to say that lemon or salt. You can put a little salt on your tongue.
Yes, that also works.
And that helps you too. Or lemon. You
Yes.
drink the lemon after, because I drink that Sister Ingrid, I could not find my capsules, and I drank the Cool and Cleanse. Oh my goodness
Yes,
me. And that
extremely
one was
bitter.
not as
It's
potent as
bitter and
others that
hot.
I made before.
Uh-huh.
Oh my goodness me. That thing went, and that thing remained on my taste on my all night. It was awful. And I put lemon juice. I drank lemon juice before I put lemon juice in my mouth, and put lemon juice after. But the taste in my throat never left. Oh my goodness. I was so happy when I found the capsules.
What was that, sister, for the papa leaves?
No, this is a colon cleanse. But this colon cleanse has Sahara Sagrada and barberry and ginger and garlic. And it's bitter like gold. And lots of cayenne pepper. It's so bitter.
My question to Sister Jackie, did she mention that her daughter is the one who had lupus?
Yeah.
Okay, because it's such a blessing to know that even in her profession, the Lord has opened up a way where she is revealing to you and to her and even others around her of the benefits of the papa leave. Is it that she's still ailing from the illness? I know they have a thing that says lupus is a lifelong disease.
Yes.
I'm not sure. Okay.
She is.
I was just wondering.
It have
Okay,
sometimes she would get like nosebleeds, or like you know, and she would use the pawpaw and whatever herbs I boil. If she starts to feel sick at all, she will call mom, I need some bush. So she would take the medication, and she would also encourage her friends or anybody that she see need help. She will tell them, call my mommy.
That's so
because
beautiful.
because people is wonder how she does look so healthy and be able to do everything that she does. So she's tell them, my mommy's give me bush. She don't say herbs.
That's so beautiful. I'm just wondering if there isn't a way in which it can be resolved. You know, and it just came to mind that, you know, maybe there's something, a protocol out there that can, you know, allow her to be relieved from it for
Indeed.
forever, you know.
That is a very good thing, Sister Hyacinth, a good question.
Yeah,
And we
so
know, go ahead, Sister Jane. Sister Jack.
yeah, we looking into it as we doing, you know, like research and all of that. But you see, what when you tell her change her diet, because she would still eat a piece of meat, yes, she will eat vegetables, she would still use like milk and all these things, but if she eat it 1 or 2 times and she realized she's not feeling well, she would stop. Because you know what, where the doctors had told her, well, you know, you can't have ice cream and things. She say, I will be like an old lady in the mall eating sorbet and when my friends could be having her ice cream. So she's cheat a lot. But if she changed her diet totally, I know one of these days she would, because she start now as she getting older, she start to observe the diet a little better. She's eat a lot more salads, a lot more veggie, as opposed to eating meat and things like that. So I know once she changes her diet, because most of the time she's healthy, it's only if she probably going through let's say severe stress on work or home or something like that, you find she would have a flare, because stress just bring it on and stress just give them a flare.
You know, it's so that happened that as you're sharing that, I remember in a presentation, was it last night? Today is no, it was Sunday. Dr. Kilman Butte, he was presenting and stating that milk products are, you know, as we know, it's cancerous, you
Yes,
know,
it
but
is.
he said that even if the person, and I think it's through Brother John Clark, even if the person is vegetarian and they're working in the butcher shop, they are exposed to tuberculosis and cancer by breathing and by handling the meat. And you know,
Yeah,
it really opened my eyes to this,
yeah, but
you know, this issue of
to
meat
think
and
about
flesh
it.
and milk byproducts.
Yeah, Dr.
Yeah.
Butte is my connection in the Philippines.
Yeah, what other I just saying this broad, right? What other animal? Because you know, this drink milk from our next animal. It's only the humans. We go to cow milk, goat milk. You don't see a dog drinking cat milk. You don't see the goat going for the cow. But you see humans do it. And you know, as a mother, when you have a baby, your body makes milk to help the deficiency that your baby was born with. So think about that. When a cow giving milk, remember they just gave birth. They will be making milk to address their baby's problem. But we take the milk and then it comes with a lot of bacteria, and so
And I want to add to that because my dad accidentally poisoned all of our dogs 2 weeks ago, and the vet said give them cow's milk to make them vomit because they, as puppies, when they wean, sometimes we would try and add milk powder and give them milk, and they wouldn't touch it. And then we made them drink the milk by making it a bit sweet, and you said what to put in it, and they all started vomiting and having diarrhea. And I'm like, wow. if a dog can vomit and have diarrhea because they've consumed dairy milk, what does it do to people who drink that milk all the time?
Yeah, think
Great.
about that. Mhm.
This is an animal.
And that's why they tell you if you know somebody ingests poison, give them milk to drink.
I had some issue the other day when I see where my dogs were poisoned as well. And I gave them the
Charcoal.
herbs that were good for the blood. I think they got I don't know if they were poisoned. It seemed as if when we took one to the vet said that it was gramazone.
Wow.
Or and another time it was rat poison. And I gave them dandelion, burdock mixed with turmeric, charcoal, of course. And
Yeah.
they got better. They got better once they swallowed. Because I think one or two were at the point where they weren't swallowing and they didn't make it. But those who swallowed it, they revive. And I'm saying, look at God.
Yeah, and sister, if you don't have charcoal and you don't have all of that, once you have dirt, or like especially like soft dirt, let's say like a little muddy water kind of thing, they add just like about 2 to 3 tablespoons of sugar in it, and you give them that, and it will neutralize the poison faster
Yes,
than yeah.
that was amazing because we had seven. One of them died, but that one that died, he just wouldn't drink, and he was one of the weaker ones anyway. But I just panicked because my dad has dementia, and he fed them sawdust and all manner of things. But the charcoal, I just said to the carer, put charcoal in their bucket, lots of charcoal, and I said do some senna tea and put it in their waters, and I just used what human beings would use, and then the glucose we use for the energy. But the weaker ones took a while to recover, but they recovered. I'm like, look at that, these are animals, and I didn't use a single pharmaceutical drug. It was all natural things, and God was so good. They bounced back, apart from one. And then we as human beings are running to the doctor getting pharmaceuticals, but the animals are recovering using natural remedies. It was a real object lesson.
Amen. Amen. Sister Dawn, you have anything to are there any other questions? Sister Jackie, this is such a very amazing and interesting discussion.
In a while.
What did you say, Sister Dawn?
Yeah, we may have to close up in a while because we could go all day with these herbs and we still have more to learn.
We do have a lot to
Praise the
learn.
Lord.
My only question was about using any of these herbs for eye issues. How would you use them? Because it was mentioned that it's good for glaucoma, I think. But how would you use it, and what
Okay.
would be the
Now, do remember, Sister Abby, at the end of the day, even when we are talking about the use of herbs, we have a mindset that has been we've been educated by Babylon in terms of we think of what do I take for that? Meaning we are looking to use the herbs in place of the way that we have been accustomed to use drugs. But the question that we need to ask is, why do I have this condition? What is the cause of my problem? And that's where we go back to the 8 natural doctrines. It is because of the violation of the laws of health why disease has come. So when we have a condition, the first question is, what is the cause of this? In the case of glaucoma, a lot of times, if you just look up, what are the physical manifestations? If you have glaucoma, what is it? We are looking at the indiscriminate use of fat, meaning that we cook with oil. We use oil for all kinds of reasons. I mean, no spiritual prophecy says that oil is extremely inflammatory. It is poisonous. So that we cook with oil. And then we also pick up what the rest of the world says, talking about olive oil and coconut oil, and we pour in the oil in. but it is the oil as found in the actual plant. So avocado is great, but when you extract the oil, you've separated it from the fiber. Coconut is great, but when you separate the fat from the fiber, you now have a condition that now starts to attack and assault various organisms. It is where we are weakest that we are going to feel that's where the pain is going to be felt first. Where the weakest link is where you're going to have your first defeat or your first downfall. So in the case of cataract, we're looking at the use of sugar and fat, sugar and oil. And we see sugar and oil is met, and we oxidized, we call oxidized cholesterol. These are the issues that actually contribute to what glaucoma. Now we have, because of our ancestors who ate badly and who did not have proper vitamin D because they were not out in the sun, they were not exercising, they won't get enough fresh air. And they've also been recipients of things like vaccines and certain drugs. They have passed on those weaknesses to us. So there are certain people who tend to come down with these things. You put in the same inputs, but you get a different output. So the same poor diet will produce cataracts in one person. They will produce arthritis in another group, and it will produce diabetes in another group. But when you look at the end of the day, it's said the same input, the bad diet, the sad diet, standard American diet, the crazy stuff that we like to do, what we call our ethnic foods, most of which are things that contain unclean elements, pork and shrimp and that kind of stuff. Those hypercholesterol foods, and they attack the various organs. So yes, indeed. So in terms of what for glaucoma, we talked about that bush, the shining bush, or the Peperomia pellucida, that they call pepper elder in Jamaica. That is it's also used in the Philippines as well for glaucoma and for eye and for cataracts. The plant that we call plantain, it's Plantago ovata. It's a plant that we know in Trinidad, we call it plant. It's spelled Plantain, like we say plantain, but it's pronounced plant. It's a plantain. In Trinidad, they pronounce it plantain, as against plantain, which is like the banana from the banana crop. So the plantain, which is a low-lying leaf, grows very low down, and it produces these long tendrils that have little seeds. So those tendrils of the little seeds, that's a member of another family that is that same plant, but a slightly different variety is where we get psyllium or psyllium husk. So that plant that produces psyllium, a sister plant, produces what we call plantain, and the leaves of that plant, the juice of that leaf, is very helpful for glaucoma. My family, we have glaucoma as that runs through we have a lot of people who have come down with glaucoma. And by God's grace, I did have glaucoma in my early years. When I was in my early 20s, I no longer have glaucoma because of, changing the lifestyle. The glaucoma is gone, has disappeared. And it is really, so that a lot of things, we can talk about it, but when you actually have lived it. Yes, Sister Janelle.
How do you explain to someone that we shouldn't be using the noxious herbs? Some people think that all herbs are good. I have family members that partake of marijuana.
Yes.
That think that can help, or CBD that can help with the glaucoma. How do we explain to them in an intelligent way and a biblical way that these things are not good, even though they may have some medicinal properties? I'm not sure if they do or not. People are like, almost some days the whole town smells like weed because since it's become legalized.
Yes.
They're people already were smoking it before and take, I don't know, they have capsules, CBD, everything all around town now. So I'm just wondering how to explain that to them.
Well, the Bible says that a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. People believe what they choose to believe because it suits their benefits. It suits their purposes. When someone, so the thing is, sometimes you can't really convince them, but you could let them know there is a tremendous amount of scientific data that's available. Because yes, the marijuana plant used as a tea does have very strong effects in terms of glaucoma and its reversal and prevention. But they are not using it as a tea. The people who are smoking it as weed are misusing it, and they're using it in another way. They are, so because when you burn it, you have other properties, that other things that are either being formed because of the burning, and other things that are converted from one form to another because of that particular type of heat. So we literally have to pray that God will give us the angle to get through to them.
Okay, so I can suggest to them to use it as a tea. I didn't know that.
But it is used as tea. Now, the thing is that we know that in the THC part, but the CBD part, it has actually been shown in studies to cause a tremendous amount of brain damage as well. So, and because we used to say, well, it's just, with the CBD doesn't have the THC, it's tetrahydrocannabidiol, but it is both parts, all of the plant of that particular plant has things that can be used medicinally because it is a powerful pain reliever. It is a powerful analgesic. But it's the reason why it works. It's the part of the brain that it works on that produces this effect. Because, we do have receptors in our brain for that particular category of plant, of drug. Yeah, we have opiate receptors, we have cannabis receptors and stuff like that. So it's quite interesting. It is quite interesting. So I don't.
The cocoa plant is beneficial too. It's just that we are using those things.
Yes.
Misuse of them, and then we add all kinds of things to them when we manufacture these things for the purpose that they want it for.
But I think that
special plants.
Yeah, so every plant is not for every person as well. God made food for certain animals. For example, coffee. There are certain animals that coffee is their food and it doesn't harm them, but it was not made for us. So we eat their food, and then what do they eat? Of course, it doesn't do us any good. It harms us, and we get addicted.
They eat us.
So the tea doesn't cause you to become high?
I don't know. I can't say that I don't say.
Yes, if you overdose, as with anything, you overdose, so you use 3 leaves or 5 leaves. But if you're gonna use a whole branch, yes, you will hallucinate. You can
the fact is, Sister Janelle, the plant contains active properties of THC, which is tetrahydrocannabidiol, and it also has the CBD, which is and those, both of them are present, and they're going to be present whatever you do with them. If you take them as tea, it's going to release it. If you smoke it, it's going to be released. But when you smoke it, more of it is released versus if you use it as tea.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so either way, it is not necessarily a plant that is for our benefit. There are some things that can be used medicinally, which means that you use it in small amounts and only as needed. The Spirit of Prophecy speaks about the use of coffee in the case of like somebody who is vomiting uncontrollably. It does stop the vomiting. So that you use a small amount for that purpose only, but it is not designed to be used as a general beverage. So God does require as well for us to have wisdom in terms of knowing how to use the noxious plant, and those exceptions to the rule, just not as a part of the general diet, but as incidentals in the case of emergency.
Oh, okay, like cinnamon and all those other ones that we're counseled to, black pepper. Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, there are very few benefits. I mean, black pepper does supposedly, they say, have benefits, but it's a piper, part of the piper family. It does have pain relieving qualities. Yeah. Yes, Sister Dawn?
Finish it.
Oh, sorry. I thought
pain. But if you want to use cinnamon, you could use the cardamom and the coriander together. Will give it that same cinnamon flavor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
that's
cinnamon,
for the flavor. That's just flavor. But for the properties of the plant.
The properties for cinnamon properties is this powerful blood sugar lowering effects.
Yeah, blood sugar.
So when patients who had blood sugar in 800-900,
But it's the right cinnamon, though. Remember that. It's not all cinnamon.
Actually, both forms, both you're right. The one that is commonly on the market, not this. The Ceylon is the one that has the greater properties, but even the regular cinnamon that is used, which is not the great one, will work for lowering the blood sugar. They both have that effect.
Both
of them have that effect. Yeah, but this
you have to go. You have two hands up, Sister Lois.
Hi, Sister Lois.
Today was very, very helpful. In fact, the entire course so far has been fantastic. The only thing I have a couple of challenges with is you have conflicting medical missionaries with conflicting information. So there are some things that I'm challenged with, like yeast. I know oil is good, and I really don't saute with oil anymore. I just use water. But then I just think, can you cut out something out of your diet totally? Because it means you can't cook certain.
You mean like oil?
I always thought coconut oil was very good, and I was using MCT oil for my father, for his dementia. Now I hear coconut oil is bad. So it's just like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what is the truth? No, what is the issue?
And this is why we need to go to God for direction specifically. Because again, we're talking about individuals, so general use, particularly for people who are sick. And for people who want to maintain their health, people who are diabetic, we know that when people who use a lot of oil, the way that I get people off of insulin and get them to no longer be diabetic is to remove the oil from the diet. And in a matter of days, they're normal. So we know that there's something there.
But then use the coconut in its true form.
And again, even for the people who are diabetic, none of it, all fat. We have to literally remove the fats completely. And that's because what made them diabetic was the free use of fats and sugars. But it is the fat that causes the metabolic disorder, not the sugar.
Yeah.
So for example, if you use fresh coconut and you blend it and use that for milk in your cooking,
you'd have to use both the husk, the entire coconut. You can blend it, which is what I do. I blend the whole thing and you put the whole thing in.
Yeah. So that's okay?
If the person does not have a problem with diabetes. And even then in small amounts, I used to use it very heavily. I don't anymore.
So I'd use it in porridge, I'd use it in stews.
Yeah, you use it as it is, but I used to really just, do a whole coconut.
Okay.
But yes.
That makes sense. Some of the things that I just
please, we need some taste too,
But for me in the Bible there's leaven and unleavened. So if yeast is bad, how could you have the leaven?
Oh, Sister Lois, I'm so happy you just said that, because yesterday I just happened to hear some lady talking. They were talking about sauce actually. But this lady, they were talking about hops bread and what goes good with hops bread and whatever. And this lady, I think from Tobago, said, and Sister Dawn, pay attention because I would love to know what she was talking about. She said, we use yeast today, but we don't have to use yeast when we leaven the bread. We have to leaven the bread. We don't use yeast. We just have to leaven the bread. And she did not go further to say what she used to leaven that bread, but I realized that it was not yeast.
Yes, for most people, it's what they call sourdough.
I don't know what it was.
Yeah, for most people, that's the process that they call sourdough, which they literally leave it to ferment.
But then we are told that we can't use sourdough either.
That is correct.
It's a poison.
The Spirit of Prophecy says that we use yeast because I think it's the least of the objectionable. But she says you use the yeast, but you do not eat the bread for at least 3 days.
Yeah.
So you allow, because the heat will kill the yeast, but then after the effects, the byproducts of that yeast, which is the alcohol and stuff, takes a while to work its way out. And that's why she said we need to give it at least 2 to 3 days before eating it.
Well, then that's another thing, because I heard somebody saying 24 hours.
Yeah, but that's why we go back to the Spirit of Prophecy. She doesn't say 24 hours. So we're gonna
Yeah.
go back. So the next time,
And
Lord,
so
so-
we're eating stale bread now.
so we should be eating stale. And then she also said, in addition to that, when you toast,
Ziwak bread.
yeah, and so when you toast it, that also helps to remove even more of those, because the problem is the alcohol.
Oh, okay. Well,
So-
brethren, I know we'll go late until our midday, so we have
Yes.
Brother Moses and another person, and we have to close off, okay? We have to come back again. Sorry to spoil your bubble. Brother Moses.
We have to go. We have other duties and responsibilities according to Brother Elijah.
Yeah, Brother
Good
Moses.
morning. Good morning, brothers and sisters. Sister, don't bust everybody's bubble. Well, we're coming back when tomorrow morning, or is it later today?
You want to do some of this tomorrow morning, Brother Mozart?
Well, it's inevitable, and I'm glad that we are seeing. We are seeing that there's a level of imbalance in the amount of knowledge that we're acquiring, and that there's some things don't compute. And the Lord allows these things so that we can go to Him directly, because in John 6 verse 45, He says that we will be taught of Him.
Yes.
And so all these things are to remove that middleman. That middleman must be taken out. You know, we shared. I don't know if I shared that with you, but Sister White had a dream where it says that the whole of the clergy will be taken out, and I mean the whole Seventh-day Adventist economy. When the crisis hits, you will not find them. It was after the dust settles that they will be popping up left and right, and then they will choose among them their leaders, and you can read that also in Jeremiah 3 verse 15. No, so I'm talking now because it says, I shared a quote in the chat where it says that all those who will be in the ready to stand. I'm paraphrasing, against the beast, the image of the beast, the mark of the beast, and the number of his name. They will be conversant with life, plant life, and animal life, and that is in conjunction with Micah 4 verse 8, where Christ promised that He would return the first dominion. And the first dominion will be returned to the 144,000. And this is why we are told to strive to be among the 144,000. And in Selected Messages, Volume 1, page 173, paragraph 3, it says that all those who will be among the 144,000, they will know shortly. They will know. They won't tell people, just like Christ knows the day of the hour, but He won't say it. The 104,000, they will know shortly. They won't brag about it because it's an experience. And I pray that as we talking about plants and herbs, these things, they are ours to know. In Deuteronomy 29 verse 29, it says that those things that the Lord revealed are for His children, and that which is not revealed, they're for Him. So when we're talking about herbs and how Satan is coming to sit on the throne of the prefrontal cortex, and he will again, like I shared, they released that document in 2020, which is the zombie apocalypse document. I hope that you before they shut down the the internet, that you get yourself your own copy of this document and peruse through it and see why all these movies are coming out. And I'm telling you, very soon it's gonna be, they won't be talking about ISIS anymore. They won't be talking about. We will personify what we've been programmed to fear, which is terrorism, and that's what is coming our way. And this is why the denomination as we know it will no longer exist, because we were not taught, we're not trained to stand against such a crisis. So yes, like I said, I'm glad that we are saying, well, we're not supposed to be oil. Not when we go into the sanctuary, as we are doing. Be patient, and the Lord will show you for yourself, as your body is concerned, your own personal body, because we have to give a report. Remember, in 2 Corinthians 5, verse 10, we all have to stand and give a report on what we have done to our bodies. Do you all remember that? So the Lord is not going to bring you to judgment if he had not given provision. So don't be, the song says, be not dismayed, whatever betide. God will take care of you. These songs, we don't sing them for beautiful voices, but we sing them because they are our experience. And these things will become the lyrics of this song that we all will sing together, which is the song of Moses and the Lamb. And so, yes, be encouraged. When you hear certain things that don't align with what we've been taught, say, thank you, Jesus. Now teach me. Because he is there. He is the master teacher. And this is going to be the second part of our ministry as priests and kings. The first part, the first part of intercession has to do with the kingdom of grace. And the second part will have to do with the kingdom of glory. And we've been studying that. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Brother Mozart.
Amen.
I see Sister Vicky has her hand up too. So Williams?
Sister Veronica?
Okay, I can get it. Good morning, everyone. I have a off question, but I thought since we're kind of on the topic
Yeah,
that it would be okay to ask real quick.
But we're getting ready to leave.
No, it's a simple. Okay, well, I'll ask it, then you can think about it, and you can text it to me. I was wondering, we have to, as we learn more, the toxins from things that make our house smell pretty, or colognes, perfumes, all of that, they're toxic. And for those caring for seniors, I know that, like my mother, and I know some of my other relatives, they have, my brothers give my mother this oil to burn. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that's toxic too. I said, because you're burning oil. And I was thinking, if I got essential oil and just put the reed in it, and maybe that would scent the house. And I'm trying to think if anyone had a natural aromatic that would be strong enough for someone that's around a senior. If you know what I mean, a senior with incontinence. And so I was wondering if anyone had a suggestion. I know you but if time is up, because I did raise my hand last, someone can text me that if no one knows anything off the top of my head. I was just thinking to just get some lemon essential oil and put it buy a reed, if you know what I mean. It's like a wooden stick. You stick it in it's a glass. The oil's in there. I don't know if the oil is mixed with something else. And there's a wooden stick that diffuses to the air versus a diffuser, because a diffuser, you have to keep putting the water in it and it'll run out. Someone has to keep checking it. Yeah. That was my question.
Yes, the answer is yes. The answer is yes, you can use that. Remember that urinary incontinence, the stuff from urea can make your house very smelly. And that's a real concern. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that we can do to deal with that. And the next thing, of course, is that, it is the things like diapers and what they call the briefs, the Pampers that they use, need to be disposed of immediately, because it does create particularly if the person is very toxic. The fact is that they are dehydrated most of the time, and therefore the smell of the urine is very concentrated and very high. And they give them less water because they say, oh, because I'm incontinent, I'm going a lot. And unfortunately, that's the cause of the smells.
Sister
So,
Ingrid,
yeah, yeah, Sister Jackie.
can I interject?
Yes,
After
please.
you finish your point.
No, you're done.
Well, I mean, you know, I deal with the elderly,
Yeah.
and
But your house is not lined with carpeting, as in the case of many people who live in the U.S.
right, but like what works is charcoal.
Yes.
I put charcoals in the corners of the rooms, so you will have like fresh scent. You could use the baking soda as well.
Mhm.
The
That's what I have to use on the cook.
like you sprinkle it and then you vacuum after.
That's what I have to do here.
Yeah, after about 15 minutes, a half an hour, you vacuum so it will absorb the scent. And in the corners, I just use charcoal.
You put them in little bowls?
Yeah.
You put
I
them
just put it in the corner. I just put it in the corner of the room. Yeah, you put it in a little saucer
dish,
or
yes.
something, and just in the corner of the room,
Okay.
and it absorbs. And you
Powerful.
just change it once a month.
Yes. And the places where the diapers are stored, you also need to be able to have some
Put some charcoal in there
works
as
very
well.
well to keep it. And you also give them charcoal by mouth as well. Just charcoal water that also helps to absorb, because the smells can get very, very high.
Yes, I was wondering
Sliced
that
onion, sorry.
exactly.
Yeah. Now,
I was-
sliced onions are great for absorbing poisons in the air, but when you add in a case of a room where you have person who is who has incontinence and there's carpeting, that is what you call a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, because it smells. It
Because
gives off
the onions are very
smell.
strong, and then the urine smell is very strong. So it's an overwhelming smell in terms of the odor. But that's why you want the odor eaters to be able to get like baking soda, charcoal, using the straw to diffuse some of the essential oils like lemon and lavender, as Sister Lois suggested. Those are
Oh
all,
yes, an indoor plant, Sister
yes,
Ingrid. Sorry about
rosemary
that.
indoor plants. That same pepper elder plant,
Yeah.
what we call shining bush plant, is also an absorber, as is rosemary, is a very powerful plant as well.
It looks like although we were out of time, this is the question people want to know.
Yeah,
So,
so
to God the
so we're
glory.
gonna do that. We're gonna do that again at another program then.
My situation though is the two situations that I'm thinking of, that I am dealing with is not with carpet, but they don't want a no smell. See, we are comfortable with a no smell because we know things.
Yeah.
If you're smelling something, it might not be good for you. They want a smell. And so I'm trying to think what smell and how can I deliver the smell that is safe.
Yeah,
They do remove the diapers immediately. They clean the porta pot immediately. But they are incontinent both ways. And are one is bed bound and one is not bed bound. But I can't just take away their burning oil. I have to replace it. So I'll get, if I'm hearing correctly, it's just the reed diffuser. I'm talking about that will add scent, not take away scent like the adsorbent charcoal and stuff. What will add scent is just the reed diffuser.
Try it and see. You have to try
regular,
it and see if it works for you.
Yeah. I was just wondering if there's any other suggestions.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one though.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Add cloves as well.
I didn't hear you.
Maybe you could add cloves.
Okay, I'll see. Yep, one of them is a gentleman. He might like the clove. My mother's not gonna like the clove. Okay, I'll add a fresh clove to the oil. You mean, right? Or you mean clove oil?
So you need to add a tablespoon of cloves.
Clove oil.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Ground them. Just pound them a little bit so that the scent could
but she can also just use it, because if she's using one of the straw diffusers, you would just want the essential oil. And that
okay.
yeah. So you try it and see if it work. I mean, it really all depends on how effective that straw. I've heard it works, but I don't have any personal experience with it. Just like you, I can't handle the smells, but some people are just crazy about wanting to have the
Yes,
smell, and
yes,
it's an addictive
yes,
thing. Yeah.
yes. And you can't use the onion pieces because the onions, the people
Smell
come
like a
in, they're
restaurant.
offended by the onions. So you
Yeah.
can't use the onions, although that would be great to remove
But they
poison.
don't. They what they want is a sweet smell. That's what they're looking.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, brethren, thank you very much. Could someone pray to close us off, please? Sister Veronica, could you close us off?
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for allowing us to see March 26th, allowing us the good sense to come together and to learn more about what you've put out there to heal us. Lord, I first ask forgiveness of my sins, that nothing within me would prevent this prayer from being heard. And God, I lift up every person that came on this platform, whether it was just for a few minutes or for the entire time. I ask that you would plant a hedge of protection around them, that you would give them wisdom, that you would give them faith, and that you would give them fortitude to stand. And God, I pray that you would keep us, because we cannot keep ourselves until we meet again, whether it be on this platform or in that great getting up morning when you come in the clouds. In Jesus' name, I do pray with thanksgiving. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Thank all those who participated. Thank you very much. We shared and heard a lot. Praise the Lord. Amen. Have a good day, everyone.
Hey, thank you. Bye, guys.